Editing. Some folk enjoy it, some folk hate it. I thought I'd do a wee video today on just some of the things I do when I'm out filming that make it just that little bit easier when it comes to doing the edit. It's more aimed at outdoor creators where you're not sitting at a desk with a camera in front of you and you can just do retake after retake and the background doesn't change and everything can be set up beforehand. Outdoor it's a bit more ad hoc, you have to suck it and see really. So hopefully some of these will help. Number one, check your background. It's like composing a photograph, just make sure it looks nice and pleasant. You know, the whole idea of being outdoors is that you're beautiful scenic views. You don't want telegraph poles, wheelie bins, you know, houses, fences. Make it look like you're actually outdoors. Number two, long repetitive tasks. You don't need to film all of it. Film little bits, little short snippets from different angles. Use them to show the task. You don't have to film the 10-minute sequence. It's quite easy to show an entire task in about 10 seconds. Just film little bits. That's all you need. See? Three. When it comes to editing a long sequence where you've had a lot of dialogue and you might have maybe repeated a sentence or two, it's useful to be able to see in the clip in the editor where that starts or where it is. What I normally do is I'll just kind of cover the camera up so it's a kind of obvious prompt on the camera, so you'll see that in the footage, and also maybe throw in an audio prompt, maybe like you'll see that in the waveform in the editor. So if you've had to repeat yourself, you can quite easily glance through the waveform in the editor, you'll see the 3 clicks and go, that's where I repeated myself, and that's where you cut. Point number 4, record a little bit of background audio, just background noise, without the traffic preferably. F*** off, cars! If you use a lot of photographs in your outdoor videos, it's usually worth recording just that little bit of background ambient noise. It just gives you something to overlay the photographs. It just stops that kind of obvious audio cut. Or even if you've got a clip that the audio hasn't come out very well, you can play the ambient noise behind it and nobody will really notice. It just makes it a little bit easier to use a clip that would normally be unusable. So again, helping you edit. 5. Now when you're out filming and you've maybe messed up a line or possibly said something that isn't quite right, you would put in jump cuts where you would just cut the track, paste the 2 bits together so that your audio made sense. But watch your background. If you're moving, the background is going to very noticeably change. Now that's not so noticeable if you're recording indoors and you've got the same background. The only thing that changes is the expression on your face. But if you're outdoors and like this, your background is constantly changing and you end up with a very messy looking clip where the jump cuts are blatantly obvious. So what it's worth doing is if you're recording a bit of dialogue to camera and you screw up a little bit, record the whole bit again. Otherwise your jump cuts are going to be very noticeable. And a mess to edit. Number 6, not having the camera ready when you start talking. As I just did there. You see the camera swing round and then I'm starting to talk to you, but I've already started my sentence. I do this all the time, I really need to stop it. Lift the camera up, position it, get your background composed first, then start talking. That way you've not got that wobbly camera right at the start, and again, when you finish the dialogue, hold the camera still until you've finished. Then take it away. Doing that just means that when you're going to edit later on, you're not finding that your last few frames from your dialogue have got the camera pointing at the sky. Number 7. Now when it comes to recording audio in noisy places, such as like waterfalls or anything like that, it's worth recording your dialogue before you get to it or after you've been to it. And you can play the dialogue back over footage when you're there. I've got a wee example when I filled my water bottle. I'll just show you that now. I found this wee waterfall where I'm going to fill up my water bottle. Just found a nice wee waterfall there, so I stopped to fill up the water bottle. Now you'll notice the second clip was a lot clearer audio. Now it just means you're not having to fight with the audio when you're editing. You might even find some of that footage, if it's too noisy, it's not even usable, and you're left with a gap in your story. Number 8. Another thing I've been missing is foot noise. Gravel in particular. It's really hard to edit gravel out, so if you're walking, filming on gravel, just take a couple of steps to the side and film on the grass. That way you can talk away quite happily and it doesn't screw up your audio. Makes it far easier to edit later. 9. Now this one's not as applicable in Scotland. It's that, what's it called? Sun. Yeah. Sun and shadows and stuff. If you've not got a flip out screen on a camera or you're using an action camera without a front screen, just be aware of where the shadows are. It can ruin a clip. You might think that's all composed beautifully, this is looking great, and you'll watch the footage back and you see there's a shadow over the whole thing. You'll get away with it, it's not end of the world, but it's just a lot cleaner if you've not got it there. It just, again, gives you more good usable footage when you come to editing. Number 10. Now talking about jump cuts again, they're quite easy to hide. If you have a jump cut in the middle of a bit of dialogue, and if you notice that the background changes and it's too noticeable, what you can do is take a little bit of B-roll, play it over the top. Now that can be just a little bit of footage of the dreaded walking past the camera shot, or even just a little bit of footage of your feet, anything at all, whatever you're walking past. Just a couple of seconds, breaks up the footage, which makes it better and more entertaining to watch, and it also hides your jump cut, making it easier to edit again. I still don't know how many that is. I really need to write this stuff down. I only actually came out today to put my trail cam up. The final tip, always watch through your video after you've rendered it. Always watch through. You don't want to spend all that time editing a video, upload it, and then find out you've got a bit of audio missing, or the wrong clip's in the wrong place, or you've made a mistake somewhere. So watch your video back. If you have to, go back in and fix it. You'll have put in a lot of time and effort into recording that video, and all the time and effort into editing it. Make sure it goes up right.